Thank you for visiting my channel. Before we start, please hit the subscribe, like, and share buttons to receive notification of future presentations. Our topic for discussion is Article 16 of the new Civil Code, which is the basis of Lex Res Citae and Lex Nationali, conflict of laws on property and succession. Article 16. Real property as well as personal property is subject to the law of the country where it is stipulated. However, intestate and testamentary successions, both with respect to the order of succession and to the amount of successional rights and to the intrinsic validity of testamentary provisions, shall be regulated by the national law of the person whose succession is under consideration, whatever may be the nature of the property and regardless of the country wherein said property may be found. Article 16 establishes two main conflict of laws principles: the lex res sitae or law of the place where the property is located, and lex nationali, national law of the decedent. Lex res sitae provides that real or personal property is governed by the law of the country where it is located. For example, if a Filipino owns land in Japan, the transfer, ownership, or encumbrance of that land will be governed by Japanese law. Meanwhile, lex nationale provides that the law that governs inheritance or succession, including who inherits, how much, and whether a will is valid, is determined by the national law of the deceased at the time of death. For example, if a Filipino dies, their estate, even property abroad, is distributed according to Philippine law, not the foreign law where the property is located. Illustrative examples: property issue or lex res sitae. A Filipino owns a condo in Tokyo. The rules for transferring ownership, deed, registration, mortgage are governed by Japanese law, not Philippine law. Succession issue or lex nationali. A Spanish citizen dies with property in Cebu. Even though the property is in the Philippines, Spanish law governs the issues of who inherits and how much. First paragraph, lex res sitae, general rule. Property, whether real or personal, is governed by the law of the country where the property is located. Illustration: a Japanese citizen owns land in Cavite. Question: what law governs the ownership, transfer, mortgage, or registration of that land? Answer: the Philippine law, because the land is situated in the Philippines. Lex res sitae means that ownership, transfer, encumbrance, possession, and other property rights over both real and personal property are generally governed by the law of the place where the property is located. Real and personal property. For immovable and movable property like land, buildings, vehicles, jewelry, machinery, shares in some context, etc., the law of the country where the property is located determines who may own the property, how ownership is transferred, the validity of mortgage and other encumbrances, and registration requirements. Example: a parcel of land is located in the Philippines. Even if the owner is a foreigner or the deed was executed abroad, Philippine law governs questions relating to ownership and transfer of that land. Second paragraph, lex nationali, exception. The second paragraph creates an important exception. Although property is generally governed by lex res sitae, succession is governed by the national law of the decedent. The national law governs order of succession, amount of successional rights, intrinsic validity of testamentary provisions, and capacity to succeed under Article 1039. Article 1039 provides capacity to succeed is governed by the law of the nation of the decedent. First, order of succession. It refers to the legal sequence or hierarchy established by law that determines who inherits from a deceased person and in what priority. In succession law, not all heirs inherit at the same time or in the same manner. The law designates which relatives are called first to inherit and which relatives are excluded if preferred heirs exist. Example: if a person dies intestate or without a will, his legitimate children are called first. If he has no children, his parents or ascendants may inherit. If there are no descendants or ascendants, the surviving spouse and other relatives may be called according to the order prescribed by law, and in the absence of any heirs, the state succeeds. The order of succession determines who are entitled to inherit, who are excluded from inheriting, and how the estate is distributed among the heirs. Related principle. The order of succession is based on the rule that the nearer relative excludes the more remote relative, except in cases where the right of representation applies under Article 962 of the Civil Code. Thus, order of succession simply means the priority ranking of heirs established by law. Article 962. In every inheritance, the relative nearest in degree excludes the more distant ones, saving the right of representation when it properly takes place. Relatives in the same degree shall inherit in equal shares, subject to the provisions of Article 1006 with respect to relatives of the full and half-blood, and of Article 987, Paragraph 2, concerning division between the paternal and maternal lines. Example scenario. A Filipino dies while residing in Spain, leaving property both in Manila and in Madrid. The distribution or succession of all property in both countries follows Philippine law since that's the decedent's national law. However, the formalities of transfer of the Madrid property like registration and conveyance follow Spanish law because that property is located in Spain. Hypotheticals. Foreign decedent Philippine property. A Japanese national dies leaving a condo in Makati. His Japanese will gives it all to a friend. Under Article 16, the distribution follows Japanese law, but the transfer or registration follows Philippine law. Filipino decedent foreign will. A Filipino dies in Canada, leaving property in Toronto and in Quezon City. As to the intrinsic validity, the Philippine law applies. As to the form of the will executed in Canada, Canadian law applies or lex lose celebraciones. And as to the transfer of the Philippine land, Philippine law applies or lex re site. Number 2 is amount of successional rights. The amount of successional rights means the specific share, portion, or extent of the estate that each heir is entitled to receive from a deceased person's estate. In simple terms, it answers the question, how much will its heir inherit? In succession law, when a person dies, the law determines who inherits, it refers to the order of succession, and how much it inherits, which refers to the amount of successional rights. For example, if an estate is worth 1 million pesos and there are two heirs, A and B, both are legitimate children, each heir gets 500,000 pesos. The amount of successional rights is the one-half share each heir receives. In legal context, under Article 16 of the Civil Code, the term is also used in conflict of laws. The national law of the deceased governs both the order of succession and the amount of successional rights. Amount of successional rights equals inheritance share or portion of the estate allotted to its heir. Number 3 is intrinsic validity of testamentary provisions. This refers to the validity of the dispositions contained in a will as determined by the law governing succession, including whether the testamentary grants, institutions of heirs, legacies, and devices comply with the mandatory rules on succession, legitimes, and public policy. Examples of questions involving intrinsic validity. Did the testator dispose of property that he could legally transmit? Were the compulsory heirs deprived of their legitimes? Is a particular legacy or device prohibited by law? Is the institution of an heir valid? And does the will violate public policy or mandatory provisions of law? Example, a Filipino dies abroad, leaving a will in which he gives all his property to a friend, excluding his legitimate children. The will may be extrinsically valid if executed according to the formalities of the country where it was made. However, the provision giving everything to the friend is intrinsically invalid to the extent that it violates the children's legitim under Philippine law. Landmark jurisprudence on lex nationali or succession. Testate estate of Amos G. Bellis versus Edward A. Bellis, GR number L-23678, June 6, 1967. Rule: Philippine policy on compulsory heirs and legitims does not apply to foreign nationals. The national law of the alien governs the intrinsic validity of the will and successional rights. Facts: Amos Bellis, a citizen and resident of Texas, USA, executed a will in the Philippines disposing of his property. He left nothing to his illegitimate children. Under Philippine law, illegitimate children are compulsory heirs entitled to legitims. However, under Texas law, there are no legitims. Ruling: The Supreme Court held that Texas law applied. Under Article 16, Paragraph 2, the amount of successional rights and the intrinsic validity of testamentary provisions are governed exclusively by the national law of the decedent. The court explicitly noted that Congress did not intend to extend the Philippine public policy on legitims to foreign nationals. Another leading case is Asnar versus Christensen Garcia, GR number L-16749, January 31, 1963. Rule: The national law mentioned in Article 16, Paragraph 2 includes the conflict of laws rules of the foreign nation which can trigger the doctrine of renvoi. Facts: Edward Christensen was a citizen of California but died domiciled in the Philippines. His will left a small legacy to his daughter Helen and the rest to another daughter, Maria Lucy. Helen contested this, demanding her legitim under Philippine law. California's internal law allowed testators to dispose of property freely, but its conflict of laws rule dictated that the law of the testator's domicile, which is the Philippines, should govern movable property. Ruling: The Supreme Court applied the doctrine of renvoi or referring back because Article 16 refers to the entire national law of the foreigner, including their conflict rules. The California rule pointed back to the Philippines or the domicile. To avoid an endless loop, the Philippine court accepted the referral and applied Philippine internal law, granting Helen her right to a legitim. And finally, we have in the matter of the petition to approve the will of Luz Gaspe Lipsan, GR number 229010, November 23, 2020. Rule: While intrinsic validity is governed by the national law of the foreigner, the procedural aspects of probate are governed by the Philippine Rules of Court or Lex Fori. Facts: Roel Gaspi petitioned for the probate of a will executed by Luz, a naturalized American citizen who passed away in Iriga City. The RTC dismissed the petition motu proprio, arguing that under Article 16, the probate should have adhered to the national law of the decedent, which is U.S. law. Ruling: The Supreme Court corrected the lower court. It held that the trial court confused extrinsic validity or the proper execution and probate process with intrinsic validity, the distribution of assets. Extrinsic validity and the process of probate in a local court are governed by Philippine procedural laws or lex fori, while Article 16 only dictates that the substantive rights or the intrinsic validity inside the will be evaluated under the alien's national law. Jurisprudence on Lex Recite or property. Tayag versus Benguet Consolidated Inc., GR number L-23145, November 29, 1968. Rule: Philippine courts have sole jurisdiction over properties located within the Philippines. Foreign court orders cannot override local laws regarding properties situated here. Facts: Idona Perkins died in New York and an ancillary administration was opened in the Philippines for her shares of stock in Benguet Consolidated, a Philippine corporation. The New York domiciliary administrator refused to surrender the actual stock certificates to the Philippine ancillary administrator. The Philippine court then ordered Benguet Consolidated to cancel the old certificates and issue new ones. The corporation resisted, claiming the old certificates were still physically in New York. Ruling. The Supreme Court ruled that because the shares of stock were located in the Philippines as the corporation was domiciled here, they were strictly subject to Philippine law under the rule of Lex Rey Site. Foreign administrative powers cannot defeat the territorial sovereignty of Philippine laws regarding property found within its borders. This slide shows the summary matrix for quick reference, citing the case title, the element of Article 16, and the core legal doctrine. Thank you. If you find this presentation helpful, please subscribe to receive notification of future lectures.